Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of Meet the. And I usually don't date these, but it's 2021 and these damn Gibsons done made this. They done took the whole show to another level. And now that I know that the Gibson, well, we're going to jump right in. So we got Howard Gibson and we got Miss Christel Gibson. Dem Gibson films, producers, directors, authors, curators, and we're going to find out what they've been up to, what's been going on. What's going on, Gibsons? Thank y'all.
Thank you for having us. We're excited to be here. We're so glad to be on Skype right now.
I can tell. Y'all don't know it, so y'all don't see the pre-production of all this stuff.
Like literally, thank God.
And I didn't give up. It was, like all them civil rights people from before us. I don't know what that has to do. All right, I kind of Tarantino this. I go all over the place sometimes, so I want y'all to let me know. And can we hear you, Howard? Make sure we can hear Howard.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Perfect. See, y'all don't even understand how long it took us just to get Howard's face and voice on the same place.
That's right.
And they schooled me in that futuristic place that Christel, that is where she is in her mind. All right. So where are y'all originally from?
Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. Born and raised straight up in the middle of the city, Southeast D.C., man, right in the heart.
Yeah,
you're right up the street. I'm from Baltimore originally. My best friend is from Berry Farms.
Berry Farms.
Every time I say that, people are like, Berry Farms.
You know, there's no more Berry Farms, man.
That's what I heard.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Demolished. Yeah.
Well, what was it? Was Berry Farms a project like Murphy Homes and all that other stuff?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Red Hook. As Murphy Homes is famous, where you from? I've heard of that. At Red Hook in Brooklyn, and Berry Farms was for DC. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No more.
We done came a long way. Now the new projects is the Congressional Building, but we're not going to mention that.
Yes. Apparently, that is ghetto.
Y'all don't understand. I know some of y'all watching this at a different time. We're just in historic times right now. Pandemic, uprising, white folks climbing walls like they build them. It's crazy.
Never in my life, these past 12 consecutive months, never did I think that I would see the things that I am seeing in my existence.
All right, so let's
a black female vice president to white folks climbing the wall. Never did I think I would see it in the middle of a pandemic.
Let me tell you something. Let's start there. Just because we're gonna jump around a little bit. Where are y'all minds right now as filmmakers? Because you guys are the historians of the age, of eras. When you're a filmmaker, you're a historian as well, no matter how you choose to tell your story, even as fictional. But right now, what you call it, larger than fiction? Where are your minds? Because I know you guys are talking about projects and got ideas for stuff, and y'all just might have to point and shoot. What are you guys thinking? And how do we? What's this? Is there a spin? What's happening in your minds right now as filmmakers?
Well, for me, I don't know what Howard is considering, but for me right now, when it comes to writing, a lot of it has to live in my head, and I don't want to relive it right now to even put together a screenplay. Nothing that I could create is going to top what's actually happening with the ratings. It's more entertaining to just tune in to what's happening on the media. I couldn't have written that if I was in my best thoughts, and never could I have written anything like that. But ask me that a year from now. But right now, I would not want to create any storylines around it. I want to get out of here.
Yeah.
I just want out.
Yeah. Howard?
I think as filmmakers, we need to be very careful on the message that we put out when we're in an emotional rut right now on both sides of the fence. And, you know, as filmmakers, you said it, you know, we're archiving things in history, right? So we want to, you know, for me, I stand with Christel. I'm kind of just like stepping back, observing white on white crime happen. You know, I'm observing, you know, they say with black on black. I'm observing white on white crime at the highest level. You know, and I saw a couple of interviews of the man who kind of held a woman who got shot in the face in the arms and dropped and said, I'm glad it wasn't me. Like when I see that, I'm just sitting back. I'm gonna sit back and look and say that, you know, what am I taking on it? It was emotional for me. I think what was going on. We're from DC. I got family calling me up like, man, what's going on? We have family like down there on the ground, you know, like really what's happening. And I'm looking at that and saying, go home. Go home, man.
Right.
There's a lot of emotion going out there. There's a lot of people who were there just to be a part of it because a lot of the white folks said they were just there for history. And those are the kind of things that's dangerous. Those are the people like I look at like, you know, during World War II, they said, I just have a job. But you a soldier, you killing this man for what? It's just my job, you know, and it's people being a part of that. So from us, as from a black point of view, from a black man point of view, growing up, always looking at congressmen, Christel and I used to see congressmen and senators riding around our neighborhoods all the time. You know, I'm sitting back looking at this, and as a filmmaker, I'm just praying to God that the message is going to come clear, and that we will be able to really isolate the truth and the core of what's happening right now. Because really, the shift is for us, brother. The shift is for us. There are things happening in the background that's so tremendous that I can't even speak of some of the things that I'm exposed to. I see in the development in the corporate and the networking streaming. I saw a lot of stuff. I come out of the technology space. So I understood, I was early on in early English and early writing and technology, kind of audible kind of technology. And I look at that and I see what's going on. I see what the messages are. Think about this. Donald Trump got in the office based upon the algorithms that was going on in terms. Don't you think that still exists right now, brother? Don't you think these narratives and everything that's going on right now is still in that? Man, this thing is big. It's in 5G mode now. So I'm sitting back as a filmmaker, and we're gonna have a message one day, but not today.
Right. It's so much. It was so much what you guys just said. I'm getting chills because I have a friend from Canada, one of our business partners in Canada, white Jewish lady. And we just had a meeting with some of our top team business people, and she sends us an email because she's the only white person on the Zoom call. Hey, y'all good? You know, she's like, you know, I'm with y'all no matter what. And she's Jewish, white, and in Canada. So she's like, I feel part, I don't know what. And I just told her some history. And I was like, you know what? You can't, the image of what we want to portray about America there's been so many lies. We said, oh, you know how we all started 2020. It's black folks too. We are the most inspirational people on the friggin' planet. Every year, hey, 2020 vision, y'all. You're absolutely right. 2020 was a year of clarity. And when clarity comes that strong, where you're like, really, this how everybody feel? This how half the voting society feels, and this how it is? But just like George Floyd's situation, it had to happen like this. Yeah. Because if yesterday, the day before, whatever day it was, if that didn't happen and we weren't sitting back at home like, these people are crazy. Why don't they just go home? Why don't they just abide by the law? We're sitting back.
I'm watching like this is a whole tantrum.
They're so mean. If they just listen to the cop and get down. We're that in the same, like you said, in the same 12 months, the level playing field. And Howard is right. One of my favorite musicians is George Howard. That's where the saxophone piece came from. So I keep wanting to say George Howard. Rest in peace. But he's absolutely right. The only thing that has recently humbled the celebrity in chief is the fact that they banned him from social media.
Yeah.
And he had his assistant to tweet. And then he said, well, I concede. I don't agree with it, but I concede. He's like a spoiled brat. It's the best training tool for my daughter. I'm like, this is what happens when you don't listen to me. See this? Now go to your
That's so media created this narrative. They started it with that message they created, make America great again. Kids in their teens, 20, 30, 40s. We don't know what the heck all that meant back in the 50s. We weren't here. We weren't here in 52 and 53. And a lot of those people that I'm seeing out there marching, those guys in there, most of them 40s, 45, 50s, they were babies. Y'all out here and all the rest of these people, I'm really looking deep. I'm looking deep. I'm like, they don't know what they're out there doing. It's the narrative that was sold to them, but don't really have the fundamental ground of it really affecting them directly. It's just, oh no, what's happening? You're creating it happen. That's what you're doing. Right. And that's what they did to us for so many years. They create the narrative that we were dogs, we were all of these things, which made us as artists on my end of the stick coming from the music videos. I used to always ask myself questions when I see rappers.
No, don't.
Man, bro. I would.
Yeah, you went out for a second.
Tell Joe I want to do, please. So
yeah, you were just saying you got go back, Howard, and start that up. You said you would see certain things with the hip hop music, with the rappers. I want you to finish that point because you were in a good point. And lower your because we only see your nose down. So yeah.
Can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you now because you were about to make an amazing point. You said I would see the rappers and stuff and what they portrayed.
I came in the hip hop industry doing music videos in '92, and back then it was all street ciphers. It was just guys talking amongst themselves, rapping amongst themselves, and we were just coming off of the heels of Public Enemy. We were coming off a conscious rap in the East Coast, and I ended up building up a career on the West Coast, which was the contradiction to the positive movement coming out of the East Coast of Public Enemy and Gangstar and all of these other guys, and the NWA were the guys who sensationalized it because they understood Hollywood. They understood the message to put it out there, and that resonated. And although they were speaking truth, it was vulgar truth, which makes people uncomfortable, fun. Right. And so the cop killers and all that kind of stuff, we sensationalized that. And then we said it was real. So then over the course of me doing music videos, man, I started to shot out of the rap videos because I would hear songs and I would know that the new artist, you coming from Encino, California.
Your parents are together. You got lemon trees in your front yard. What are you talking about? Right.
All of this. In Atlanta, seeing the same thing, big names, guys coming from other countries, acting like they from here from the track. I'm like, dude, what are you selling? You selling it just because you selling it and you ready to leave. You selling it. So we've been doing that so much. We've been being a hole in ourselves. And I'm just like, man, everybody, let's just watch them. They're the ones who created this. Sit back and let them talk about amongst themselves. Let's sit back and really reboot us. Because this is our opportunity to focus on our own energy and focus on who we are. They ain't messing with us no more. Man, I'm gonna tell you, let me tell you, white folk can't come out here and just say anything because we got phones next to us and they will lose their jobs. They will lose their lives and limbs.
Lose your job.
That's right. And right now, we're in the first throes of the next 20 years of this paradigm shift of respecting Black culture, because it's going to be for people like Christel and I to come out and do original shows. And I tell you, man, I read scripts from other people. They talking, the background is about drugs. And I said, man, if you don't get this out of my face, do you sell drugs? Then why are you writing this? You automatically selling us down the river because that's what you used to singing. We're not doing that. This is the new age, 2020. Unlocked this thing for us. It gave us transparency. That those people are fighting amongst themselves. They Bloods and Crips up on Capitol Hill. They red and blue.
They were the first red and blue.
Right.
Exactly. And they got the band.
I also think with this whole message of Donald Trump, and he's like, make America great again. He ingrained that so much that it resonated with the Black people. And guess what we did? We went out and we voted. And guess what? He lost the White House. He lost the Senate. Okay, the House of Representatives. Yeah, we're about to make America great. We're really about to do it.
I was telling somebody before, I was like, you can't uproot, and people say 400 years, but we're talking about 1492 when Columbus came over to the Bahamas and Queen Isabella, and he was going back, he was a conquistador, which means a conquester, meaning that they're not coming to take part, they're coming to take over. That's what conquistador means. So they came there with a purpose, and they saw something, because we forget what the transatlantic trade was before it was the transatlantic slave trade. It was the transatlantic trade. It was Africans going to South America and them doing trade.
Right, exactly.
So, and a lot of these things aren't taught, but guess what? I watched this white professor on TV talking about, here's what you can't get rid of: books, documents. Everybody documented their journeys. So that's why, because we thought we couldn't read because they just didn't want us to read the Bible. They didn't want us to read to know anything. So fast forward, because you said some key things. I'm from Baltimore. I moved to Los Angeles to see how my live show production skills translated into TV and film. But I'm a rom-com brat. And thank God for people like Eddie Murphy when he did Boomerang and Best Man. But it would make me upset that we got Boomerang and Best Man to show. And being from DC and Baltimore, we know this. We know affluent African Americans. DC and the Maryland area has some of the most affluent African American communities in the United States, in the world, outside of Africa. Africa got more billionaires, Black billionaires, got regular billionaires. So I wanted the same thing. I know that my romantic narrative as a teenager is equivalent to anything from American Pie to Cooley High to anything. And what I liked about movies like Superbad is you could have put me and my boys in that movie.
Yeah.
And so I'm dead on with you. I don't want to see these false narratives. We moved from the city into an area where there was drug dealers in the corner, to the county in Baltimore where, if Mr. Charlie said, look here, y'all get off my grass, and we laughing, he going to his house to get the gun, but he has a beautiful lawn. So he's saying, get off my grass. I just cut it, guys. It's not because, parents took care of their kids, the whole neighborhood. When my parents left me at 14, the whole neighborhood raised me. So I'm there with y'all. We have to and we're not creating a new narrative. We're showing people life as we are. Right. So with that, now what you guys brought, because we had this, for y'all that don't know, we had the interview set up before this was going to happen. But the other day, like you said, I think you said something key. We got to just kind of watch this play out, because this is new to them. Well, it's not new. It's new since the Revolutionary War, or the Civil War to them.
First time, they don't know what they really getting. We got to sit back.
People were giving, the interviews as the mob riots were happening, and they're like, I got sprayed in my face with mace. They're pushing on us.
The interview was so calm.
I was like, they
What's your name, baby?
You got
Elizabeth. Where you live, Elizabeth? Black folks at least know if we get interviewed after something go down. What's your name?
Right.
Elizabeth. I'm Elizabeth from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee. What in the world? Like, they're so privileged that they don't even understand what it is they're doing. And I doubt if they'll even get arrested. But it just perplexed me. Like, I actually just sat back, and I'm 48 years old. So I still have like half my life to go. But I was just astonished by what I was seeing. You know what I mean?
Here's the funny thing, though. And I want to jump into some more stuff that how you guys came to develop, because I mean, outside of the Wayans family, you kind of understand it. They saw somebody be successful, and he was like, Marlon always talks about the fact that he was like, "No, Ma, I want to go to the HBCU." She was like, "You better go over here and make this film and funny money that your brothers make." You know, so it's only a surprising to me, 45, you 48, however old. It's only surprising to us 50 years old and younger folks. For the 60, 70 folks, 70 years old, for the people who like the people who were born in the 50s or born in the
parents. Mm-hmm.
They like, you told you white folks, you know, and painted with a large brush, because I got white brothers and sisters like, I'm not crazy too, am I? No. But the powers that be.
Right.
It had to have. I can't be mad. Like I said, it had to happen like this.
I'm glad it's happening. Sure. I'm glad it's happening. We didn't need Trump for another 4 years, but I actually wanted him in office because I was like, I didn't vote for him, but I wanted him in office because I saw something. I saw that we had a narrative that if we'd have had Democrats in office for this next 4 years, we would have simmered it down and we would not have hit that glass ceiling. And, you know, and it would have been, we would have had our quote unquote leader up there saying, guys, don't deal with it. What if George would have still happened? Guys, don't do that as much. It would have been something that we would have considered. And when Trump,
it would not have been a transition.
It would
have been shop as usual.
Here's how we know. As much as I love the character and the man that Obama was, for 8 years, we just saw them pushing him down and playing the politics role. Donald Trump coming in, he's not a politician. And he's a money guy, and he's trying to be grubbing and stuff like that. And little by little, they was like, what are you doing? So
I didn't know. Trump let me know that you can
come in, raise yourself up a little bit, Howard, so your whole head isn't.
Where am I? Because I see, when I look at myself,
perfect.
Do you see?
I see your whole head now. Yeah, okay. As long as there's a little clearing up there, we can see.
Okay, cool. You know, I looked at that. I learned through Trump that you just needed money, fame. You didn't necessarily need any military background, any direct college knowledge. You just need to just straight up like hit the base and speak to that base. Then also I learned that you can turn upside down the White House and fire everybody and just keep on doing it and keep on openly do stuff right in front of you and keep on going. And that's a whole new narrative that not only all of us saw, but the world saw it as too. And so now I have a lot of people in the Middle East. I deal with a lot of Middle Easterns. I deal with a lot of Asians. And I got in Thailand, spoke to one today. And what they see us, man, how they see us, they say, Howard, you are good. The Black folk, y'all got the opportunity. Take it, you know? And so let them kill themselves and take it. But, you know, I don't know. I'm not going to subscribe to that. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at, I'm just sitting back like, man, we as Blacks got to sit back, let them fight, and let us focus, period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how did you guys, who was the first one, I don't know who's older, who's younger, you did guys do mommy. So who was the first, and Christel damn sure don't act or talk. I don't even know how 40, let me stop saying that because I'm freaking 45. Somebody said, do I look at 45? It's like, how do 45 look when you're Black? I think Black women are vampires anyway, so I don't think y'all age. I think y'all aging backwards. Most of my friends, I got 3 60-year-old Black women friends, they swimming and hiking and looking. I was like, how you look younger now than 20 years ago when I met you? Like, what are you doing? Are you sucking blood at night? It's like, you know. So how did you know that it was going to be film and television? When you first get the passion to do something in the film and television arena, both of you?
Go Howard.
I think it was, and I say this all the time, but it was in our blood. Our father was a passionate amateur filmmaker, documentary filmmaker. It goes back to before we were born. You know, we got 8mm and 16mm film. My dad had a little 8mm and 16mm camera, and he would just do what people do now: family photos, you know, family videos. And I remember, and the only way we would be able to see the video is we had to go get the film prints and put them in the reel to reel, and I had to learn how to roll. We had to go put up the big screen and pull the theater down and hook it up. Film. And so for me, that was natural. You know, I played with film and played with those projectors since I can remember. You know,
Yes.
and then when by the time I'm 7, Dad came home with the first camcorder connected to a whole bunch of a shopping cart with a big old box.
The VHS camera. Mm-hmm.
With a fat cable, you know. It was like, what is this? You know, and
He had lights and stuff. And you know, he brought us over and he said, I'm going to show you how to work this. Don't break it. And we were little and we would make little home movies and we didn't break it. We learned how to work it. And then my dad would come home from work and we would be like, Dad, look what we did. And he would fuss at us a little bit. And he would say, you didn't do the shot right. Why are you whipping the camera? You got to put the frame right. It's too much space over the head. And we're like, but we're little. Like the camera's like this big.
You wasn't little when you grabbed my camera.
Right. He was like, that had nothing to do with it. You got frame and shot. Like he was teaching us when we were little. And we're so focused on shots right now. Like it's crazy. But he taught us how to do all that. We just naturally did it. I mean, it was no YouTube back then, but we probably would have been YouTube stars because we had so many films and short films. And, you know, it was just a natural progression for us.
I mean, we were doing visual effects at 10 years old, man. We had this thing called double, triple whammy. See, I just a geek off of visual effects. So I figured out that if we kept the camera, the tripod really still, and I said double, triple whammy, and I point to a location. If I push pause and I ran over it and unpaused it and recorded that if I play it back, I can say double, triple whammy and appear somewhere else. We were doing this when we were 10. You know, we would do these movies and these shorts and people
That
would
was
come
in the 80s. Mm-hmm.
What are y'all doing here? This is like a real story. And so we would continue to do it, and it just naturally progressed it into you know, it being a real career. My dad and my parents are preachers, so we started the TV ministry many years ago. I think I was 12 or 13, and our church ended up being one of the biggest in our area and the fastest growing. Back in the days, we were like the early stages of mega churches back then because of our cable broadcast. And we were the best. We had the best cables. I mean, I was really into it. I found out what the right cable, what the right cameras we needed. You know, I was like, Dad, we need to get this. We need to get these Beta SPs, not those. This. We raised that church money, man, and praise God, man. We got the lights and the cameras.
He's like, praise God, we got a new audio visual system. Everybody's like,
that's right.
He's like, yeah, it's to build up the. Never mind.
I look back on it, you know, I basically from 13 to 17, I tagged over, you know, about 1,000 hours of content, you know, years and years of television shows. We did talk shows, we did weekly church shows. We did all kinds of stuff. We did documentaries going around. I mean, we would have celebrities coming to our church like the Clark sisters, and I inadvertently make a music video. You know,
let me tell you, it's taking everything for me not to bust out in tears. I already had one emotional. I had my Barbie list, one of the guests. I already had one emotional Oprah moment. But this is legacy. Like, to being a man with a daughter I'm 45, my daughter's 9. All I think about now, Eddie Murphy said one time, he said, my first 40 years was for me, my next 40 is for my children. Now, Eddie got 11 kids, but he also worth $80 million. But the fact that your father, who also was a minister, the legacy in that, and we hear about it all the time. I mean, we hear about it for people like, people see Joel Osteen, it's like, oh, he just didn't. It's like, no, this dude didn't want to be a minister. He was the one who helped his father's broadcast become so big. That's why when you see Joel Osteen's broadcast, it's so inviting. He goes on the angles, the shots, and everything. He mastered that. Like for years, he said, I'm good just doing this. And his father passed away and said, okay, you ready now? I was like, ready to do what? But you know why his father, and he had no ministry experience. You know why his father said that? because Joe was in charge of the imaging.
Yeah.
Joe was in charge of how it was presented. And he said, believe me, you know more than you think you know. And what in the midst of y'all doing that outside of the technical side, and we've heard part of it. So if you guys are catching this on the IGTV version, because I already know what snippets I'm taking, you got to go click the link in the bio and watch the whole thing on YouTube. Okay. But what did you learn about the people aspect of recording, especially when it comes to documentary versus this is stage? Okay, we're doing a music video, we're gonna do this, that, and action. What did you learn about the people portion on camera, like the documentary stuff, in the more stage fictional based stuff?
I think lighting the when you're doing people of color and you're doing a music video, it's a certain way.
There's some white producers right now like, oh, we can't get it right, never. They be lighting us like.
It's really the way you do. My brother is a director of photography, and if anybody doesn't understand what that is, he's going to direct that camera. He's going to put those lights where they need to be. And I think that it is a skill that even some of the new filmmakers, they don't quite acquire it, because you can pick this up and then you're a filmmaker. But then it's gonna degrade some of your quality. So when I'm looking at documentaries versus the music videos, as an audience, you're just naturally watching, but you're getting a certain feel from it if you have someone behind the camera that actually knows what they're doing. It's one thing to watch a music video and it's like, oh, that's great, and then it's like, oh my God, look what they did. But it's the way it's shot. It's that whole color aspect. It's your camera angle. We're very technical, but all of that matters. And I feel that the camera is an actor. It's a part of the story. I always tell my actors that this camera's on a tripod, but it is telling the story, and you got to treat it with respect. And so Howard and I learned very early to move with that camera, move it around, tell the story, pan in for the slow motions and pull out, stuff like that. But that's how I feel about the difference between music videos and documentary shooting and film in general.
The camera is an actor as well.
The storyteller. The camera's gonna let you know when you need to cry, and so you gotta know how to operate it in that manner. It's gonna let you know. You start getting that little slow panning. I'm sorry.
That's me. She's mocking me right now.
Lee said this, they have the master classes going on, and I'm about to ask y'all, I know some people that need to have if you guys are doing Zoom tutorials and stuff like that, because there's some wisdom that you guys have that no one could possibly have because you grew up with it. We're in that mode. Like, most people don't know. We were talking to a brother on my radio show out of Baltimore, 1010, with Eartha Harris, and I'm giving a shout out now. But this brother, Charlie Duggar, shout out to Charlie Duggar, he's in his 70s. And he was talking about Kwanzaa. A lot of stuff I don't know about Kwanzaa. The next person may not know. He's breaking it down, this, that, and other. I said, man, Brother Charlie, how can people get in touch with you? So, oh, man, they can always call me or reach out to Eartha. I don't have the email and the this and the that and the this and the that. And I'm like, as soon as he said that, I said, I got to interview him before he leaves, because he's like 70-something. He said, but I'm no expert. I was like, Brother Charlie, when did you start doing practicing Kwanzaa? Oh, about 50 years.
Oh.
That's the definition of an expert. And you teach on it. And you were a professor.
Right.
What in your mind makes you think you're not an expert? So when I'm listening to you guys, and you just gave me a note that Spike Lee said, oh, I learned early off. And his going to Morehouse and doing all this stuff and doing his first films, you want somebody to look big and aggressive, you shoot them from below. You want somebody to look meager and small, you shoot them from above. You just said the same thing. That means with y'all 30 plus years of experience, starting from there and doing something that most people don't get a chance to do. You went from doing stuff, being creative, to doing presentation that was monetizable in ministry when you're putting on TV and stuff like that, to now doing, you guys are like, this is, I'm sure there might be other people and maybe, but I got y'all on here now. So
well, we were just taught to put some respect on it.
Yeah. Like put some respect on the fact that you I know you guys do. And but we're just in that next time period. And I definitely want to, and when people see this, somebody's seeing this right now and you see their information below and you can get in touch with them. But I know so many of our filmmakers who, like you said, pick up the phone and think they're doing magic, write a script and it's about this drug dealer who killed his mother. And it's like,
I would suggest to any of the listeners, viewers who really want to take filmmaking seriously that they start at the beginning and perhaps look up the first Black filmmaker, Oscar Mouchet. Look him up. He was shooting films back in the early 1900s. Not too many people know about him and everything that he was up against, but his Oscar Mouchet.
Oscar Mouchet.
Yeah.
The great thing about, I'll find him as long as I got his name.
Yeah, Oscar Mouchet, and it's very interesting to watch his filmmaking. And he was on sticks a lot. When I say sticks, I mean the tripod. But what I loved about him is that even with the sticks that he had, he would still try to get everything over the shoulder, and not just sitting the camera in one position. And that was like made because the equipment they had back then, it's not like today where you can just pick this up and move with it. It took a lot for them to shoot in the manner in which they shot. And then the beautiful Black people that he had on camera. He started so long ago that he started with the silent films. And people just don't know about that. So put some respect on it. Look up filmmaking, study filmmaking if you really want to take this thing seriously. That's how I feel about it.
A lot of this style is actually taken to traditional filmmaking, doing over sort of scenes and stuff like that. Nobody did that before him. They didn't do that. They just did these little wide scenes and these kind of set up funny scenarios. And he was able to draw into drama and bring it in there and do it in an independent way in the 1900s. I studied him. I studied a lot of filmmakers independently. I didn't necessarily go to a film school per se. I don't know what's happening here, but
I can see you. You're good.
Okay. But it's just about that passion. I want filmmakers to know that this is a monetizable business, and it's open for all of us. There's a real big opportunity right now when it comes to technology and being able to go beyond what is traditional, what we traditionally do when it comes to visual effects, when it comes to just telling stories in a high quality way. There's a lot of tricks, there's a lot of products that people need to know right now, and there's avenues of distribution that are looking for new talent right now. So they need to jump in there, man. There's a lot of information out there on YouTube. We are going to be doing workshops, and I'm specializing in more of a higher end, new wave of filmmaking with production, which is something brand new. I've been on it for a few years, but you'll start seeing that. And I think filmmaking and how it used to be produced is now going to shift and change. And so for these new filmmakers trying to get out, they've got to learn this thing. Pandemic has hit us. So now I can shoot the whole movie, with masks on ourselves, going through COVID, and there was a difference. We had never experienced that before. As many projects that I had done, and Christel and I, that was never a concern. You know what I'm saying? That was never a concern. Shut down. One of us could potentially get it and die or kill somebody else coming through us. I mean, it was a real deal situation. So, and we're seeing this thing shifting. California's shutting down right now where you are. So everybody's migrating out of California because of COVID over there. and because of the new laws that they're creating inside of the unions over there, everybody's being exodus from Los Angeles. So, yeah, so a lot of networks are coming to the East Coast, coming to Atlanta, mainly because of the space. Because yeah, well, it's you know, you can't do crowd scenes right now. Like you can't do church scenes no more. You can't have
right. The thing.
Party scenes. I mean, it's a lot of compromising. So the only way to fight that is with technology. So Dem Gibsons, we on it. We in the front of the line of that. And so I'm thankful for that. But that was just us doing constant research, constant, you know, studying and never stop growing. And so I want people to never stop growing. Don't wait for no freaking schools, no film school. This thing moves so fast. I know more than every professor I ever met in my life in any film school.
Yes.
It's joke. It's not a joke. You know, I've met them at some of the highest film schools, and they never heard of some of the deans of these colleges, and they never heard of the technology that we're touching right now. So I'm like, why are you putting all of these students in debt right now, especially black people? We need to do it different.
Don't put them on debt. Put them on set.
That's right.
Put them on set. That's right.
Oh, we got a spot for them. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and that's real. I mean, that's how we hire. That's how we hire. We hire people out of Maryland and DC area to whom had never had experience before, but they had the talent. And so, you know, we were brave enough to do that for them to get that. And then they served us in an amazing way. You know, I look at Dr. Senfon, I look at Nurse Brian, I look at Nurse Rachel, some of the standouts in the show. They're the first time, you know, well Dr. Senfon been doing it, but he's still from home. Even now, we got
characters in Double Cross.
So many people coming from back home. You know, our COVID lady was from went to Bowie and PG County. And I'm like, hey, if you do that, you come on board. If you're on the plane, you come on over here. We got you, and you're hired because we care about that. We had over 45 people to participate in that who had, again, most of them had never done it before, and so it's an amazing feeling. Bob Johnson saw us doing it, and it's an amazing feeling to get to know from him to say you got a job well done, and he's looking forward to us helping them out with their new network, All Black Network, and to build it up. My sister's an amazing writer. I'm an executor, and so they got the Wonder Twins. We ready to go, you know.
Right. I love the fact that, man, I love the fact that your energy is the same too, meaning that you just don't find it. And I know y'all may bump heads and what you want to do, what you feel like doing, what you may not feel like doing, what you feel like presenting, what you don't feel like presenting. But because of the legacy you guys carry and the knowledge you have, it's almost like if you're like, I'm working on this project, I'm trying to do this, that, and this. Why don't you think about this? And I don't know about this. And like, you know what? I'll be up there. Let's sit down. And
well, that's exactly how it goes.
You know what I'm saying? Because exactly. you can. It's palatable. It's and I can't explain it any other way. It's palatable when you find people that it's gonna sound like Jesse Jackson. It's palatable when you find people with the same passion, you know. but it's that thick with you guys. Okay, so let's fast forward a bit. Both of you have accolades. I don't know if both of you write. Christel, I know you're an author as well. What are the projects that you're most excited about now that you're working on?
Double Cross, actually. We're super excited about that. We do have other projects coming up. But the reason I'm so excited about Double Cross, one, yes, it is a story that has not been told in the way that we are telling it. We're excited about, again, the cast and crew on the show. We're excited about the network. But what I'm most excited about is the opportunities that it has brought my way. And after season 2 came out, my phone started ringing with, I don't know if I say their names. I'm going to say it, forget it, because it really happened. When Netflix calling me, G-Unit is calling me, Steven Spielberg's Amblin Entertainment is calling me, the Berlanti producers are calling me, and I sit and talk with them just like I'm talking to you on Zoom about projects coming out. Now that's where I can't say anything about that. But but for this show, they may not, you know what I mean? But they saw what we did. They saw that this wasn't extremely low budget, but at the same time, they were all of the same consensus. What if they had a bigger budget? Because this story is incredible.
Well, people that don't know about Double Cross, give us a little bit about what it's about.
Double Cross is about a set of vigilante twins who have a backstory of their baby sister being kidnapped. And then we're now fast forward into their lives where Erica Cross is a doctor and her brother Eric Cross, he's like still in the streets. But they're both geniuses in their own rights with photographic memories, you know, just two brilliant people, but two different paths. But then they come together and they become vigilantes within their community because they're trying to save children that have been kidnapped for sex trafficking. And they, by any means necessary, they're gonna get.
Oh, I know what see some of these young folks never saw Death Wish, and which went on to do like they still making Death Wishes. That's
right.
They don't know Charles Bronson. They still make right. So anytime anybody our age hears vigilante, we think, oh, Charles Bronson. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
Because no one knew what that word meant until the cops in the movie were like, he's a vigilante. Like, no, you ain't seen what happened to his wife.
Right. Yeah, and I saw that movie in the drive-in. I was kind of traumatized, but I was little.
It's a movie that you never thought would become it became not even a cult classic. I mean,
it was a movement. Yeah, Charles Bronson with that movie stays in all of our hearts. I think like that was a real thing.
Like, I think he died. I think when he died, they were still making Death Wish or something like that. They made like Death Wish 5. I mean, I gotta look it up, but I know Death Wish got at least 5. Like it was like Sylvester Stallone-ish.
Well, you know, the twins in Double Cross, you know, it's not pretty when they coming for you. No. They gonna come get you. And always beware.
Trafficking, messing with our kids. I'm gonna show you what happens.
Yeah, they go hard. And so now, you know, we had the pleasure of being greenlit for season 2. We got that shot in the can, and it is now premiering January 14th on the All Black Network. You can get to the All Black Network on the Roku TV, same way you would a Netflix or a Hulu. It's a streaming channel. And right now they have a 30-day promotion where you can subscribe for free. But after that, it's about $4.99. But yeah, they have a lot of content with people of color, the creators, the actors, the writers. So definitely check out All Black. It's formerly UMC, in case anybody gets a little. Yeah, they just changed the name.
And that just happened, right? That change just happened.
Yeah, this month.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. We were caught up in watching something else, but yeah, they happened.
Right, because some people got confused that already had UMC, and they're like, "Do I got to download a new app?" No, you don't have to do anything new. They just changed the name of it. It's All Black.
This Skype is crazy. No, sorry. No.
Yeah.
So, Double Cross. We're gonna make sure you got that in the can. So, working on that. And how do you? Now I'm going to a whole nother thing that could take us into another hour. But we gonna have to. This had to be part 1 of. We have to come back and get y'all for some more. But how do you guys go about negotiating deals? Like, I don't know if Double Cross happens to have exclusivity on All Black Network, or they're just a carrier until, and you know, because a bunch of shows and movies are in different places. How do you negotiate, or what's the best way for up and comer or somebody that has a project to negotiate the deal?
Well,
it's like
these networks, they'll normally have like a standard deal. And I would say if you are just starting out, take the deal. No, I'm being real.
I'm just waiting for. Hey, I was just talking to a sister the other day. She's probably gonna see this. She a filmmaker, and she was like, "Well, I'm waiting for this and I'm waiting for that." I was like,
take the deal.
I just interviewed a black couple that got their own pay-per-view and streaming network. Why don't you talk to them?
Yeah. What you should do is you should take the deal. If you're a real filmmaker and you got a lot of different stories, right? Get in the door.
Right.
Get in the door. Take that deal. Then once you take that deal, you get in the door and you show them what you're working with. And then you're able to create something that's a hit, like with my brother and I, with Double Cross. And then as your season starts going, now you can say, I want this, and I want this, and I want this.
I just noticed, I was about to say, because he's been changing his, I was like, Howard, just raise up. And I looked, I was like, oh, the picture is the Double Cross. It's the twins.
Yeah.
The doctor joined and the scientist, and he's a doctor scientist, and she's a doctor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the deals out there too, though. You know, Christel said take the deal. I agree. You know, in certain terms.
Yeah. No, when you're starting out, let's be clear. When you're starting out, get in the door.
And the deals aren't that bad out there at the end of the day. One, it's just like prove yourself. You know, go to college, right? You know, you get the deal at college. You want to show that you can be professional. So you gotta show and prove yourself. So that's kind of how I look at it. You know, in the very beginning, it's how it has been for blacks. And some white folk get in, they get 100 million the first time. You know, it's just because they're, you know, it's just their community. You know, and we didn't have that. So kind of get in where you fit in and learn the business. Because it's hard to find good lawyers. It's hard to find great agents to have your back, money managers. So I say learn the game first and prove your worth. And then
because you have to be an asset.
Right.
If you are not an asset.
Christel, pull to the center just in case, because I want to make sure, because you know we're doing something different here. And we're gonna see. Make sure you're in the center to move over to your left a little. Move to your left. I think it's your left. Move to your left a little bit, Christel.
I did. It's not. I'm moving it.
Oh, move to your right then. Oh, that's good. Move to your right. Some more.
Is that better?
I need to see you like in front of you. To your right a little bit more. She gonna fall off. See, she had a background, so we can't tell what she next to.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's following me. I mean, on my side, I'm sitting in the middle.
Okay. So it may be good. I just want to make sure y'all both in here. This is new for us. The Gibsons then schooled me on bringing people from different parts of the land onto the Skype together. Because Skype, you know, it's not like Zoom. But it's amazing. We had a ball. So we got to get you guys. If you don't, do you have a class or a course or a master class, something coming up that people can get involved with, or how can people get in touch with you guys?
Yeah, we will have some classes. Christel and I have been doing some workshops, some private workshops for a number of people most of the time. Yeah, but I think Apostle officially make something and pull something together, but we are going to have an absolute master class pulled together for individuals. We're going to get busy, so it's not going to be something that we do on a consistent basis because 2021 will be very busy for us. But on those times that we do have, we would definitely focus on that time to bring more and more people to the craft, and you know, let's see what they do with it, you know.
And they can look us up, Dem Gibsons Films on Instagram. And my Instagram is I am Christel Gibson, and Howard's is Howard's Journey. So once our workshop, we have a workshop, I believe Apostle Virl is putting together for the first weekend of February.
Right.
And she has a lot of people already lined up. So I don't know if it's going to be a limit to it because it's going to be on Zoom or Skype or something. But as soon as she has all of that together, we'll post up about it, and you can find out how to join the workshop.
All right.
valuable information. We'll give them very detailed information about what the networks really want. You know, I ain't gonna keep it secret. I'm gonna know exactly what they want, and I'll tell them, hey, if you can make this, bring it on. That kind of deal. So, this is a competitive world, but we have the opportunity now. It's a Black network, Black executives. Bob Johnson is Uncle Bob is the black guru, and how to do this. And we are a Black-owned production company, and we hire our own people, man. We love everybody, man, and we're looking for more people to come into this business like us, man. And this ecosystem is big. And we're looking right now. We're in North America. Christel and I, we want to talk about ownership in the international market. It's a new play for us. So Christel and I are going to expand into the international market fairly quickly. We're already in that now. Her first show is in Africa. Her only choice in Africa, hit the African theaters already. So, and this is something that when it comes to business, and we own our international rights, and we're not coming in just as service workers. We actually have rights. And so we own the international rights to our content. And those are kind of things that I want to teach people how to do so they can have an intrinsic value in their life, and have a residual income. When, I remember I did that and you still getting that check, so that's what we want. We want to teach that part, residual income. Our mama told me a long time ago, he said, Howard, when you can find something that you can make money when you sleep, that's what you need to do. And Daddy had only given us film business. And I was like, residual income, is that what that word is? So I've been on this quest. I'm 47. I've been on this thing 35 years. And I think we got it. I think we figured it out. Now. And we in the midway of life, right? But we here, we made it. And we're gonna keep going.
Yeah, we have to actually jump off. We have a network meeting.
Oh yeah. I know you're going. So I'm gonna let y'all go. We're definitely gonna do a part 2 to this because you guys are a wealth of information. Make sure you look at all the information below. Follow Dem Gibson's films, Christel Gibson, Howard Gibson, Howard's journey. You'll see all the information below. Thank you guys for taking some time out. You actually took 90 minutes out all this time. Well, we've been rocking for 2 hours today. So
right.
but thank y'all so much.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. All good.
I'll talk to y'all soon.
Yeah.
All right, peace.